family will travel to the US to celebrate America's 250th birthday. But Kinsey, it looks like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will be iced out.
What if I told you that the biggest fight between Harry and Meghan right now has nothing to do with the royal family? What if the thing threatening to tear them apart is not William, not Charles, not the British press, but a 3-day luxury retreat in Sydney, Australia? Because according to multiple sources, Prince Harry is absolutely furious with his wife. And when you hear why, you will understand exactly what is really going on behind the scenes of that $18 million Montecito mansion. This is not tabloid speculation. This is not anonymous gossip. These are direct quotes from insiders who say Harry sees this Australian trip as a tasteless money grab that risks sending entirely the wrong message at a very sensitive time.
Period. She's making this demand so extreme because she doesn't want to be there. So she's just doing extra because it's a way of her being very vindictive towards the family.
If you want to understand why this trip could be the breaking point for everything Harry has been trying to rebuild, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, because this story is about to get wild.
Like Meghan. Yep. Can we talk about woke stuff? Can we talk about our brand and our business? No, you can't talk about your business because your husband is rich. You technically don't even have one. It's all his money.
Let's start with what is actually happening. In mid-April, Harry and Meghan are traveling to Australia for the first time since their royal tour in 2018. But unlike that visit, where they represented the crown and were greeted by adoring crowds, this trip is entirely different. This is a commercial tour, a money-making venture. And according to sources, Harry is deeply uncomfortable with how it is being framed. Here is the breakdown. Meghan is headlining something called the Her Best Life Retreat in Sydney. It is a 3-day luxury weekend for women at the brand new Intercontinental Hotel in Coogee Beach, running from April 17th to 19th. The price tag? Up to 3,199 Australian dollars per person. That is over 2,000 US dollars just to hear Meghan speak and pose for a group photo. 300 women, $2,000 each. You do the math. Meanwhile, Harry is speaking at the InterEdge Psychosocial Safety Summit in Melbourne on April 15th and 16th. Tickets for that event start at around 1,500 Australian dollars. And according to reports, Harry is collecting a speaking fee in the mid-5 figures. Sources say approximately $50,000. Now here is where the tension begins. According to RadarOnline, Harry is absolutely furious about the way this has been framed. A source stated that he sees it as a tasteless money grab that risks sending entirely the wrong message at a very sensitive time for him. Think about what that means. Harry is not upset about the trip itself. He is upset about what it looks like. The source continued with this devastating quote. It has left him feeling deeply uneasy because he knows how it will be perceived, particularly by his family and by critics who already question their motives. And that is the last thing he needs right now. But here is where it gets even more complicated. According to insiders, Harry has been quietly working behind the scenes to repair relationships with his family in the UK. He wants to reconcile with his father. He wants his children to know their grandfather. He hopes to be invited to Sandringham this summer. He is planning to attend the Invictus Games countdown event in Birmingham in July. And now, Meghan is headlining a $2,000 wellness retreat for wealthy women. The optics could not be worse. One source put it bluntly. Harry feels this kind of event feeds directly into the narrative that their trips are driven by image and financial gain rather than purpose. He is determined not to reinforce that criticism as he tries to move forward. But Meghan is moving forward anyway. And that brings us to the first scandal. The organizer who went bankrupt. The Her Best Life Retreat is being organized by Gemma O'Neill, who co-hosts the Her Best Life podcast with former radio star Jackie O. Henderson. But here is what most people do not know. O'Neill's talent agency, Gemmy Agency, went into voluntary liquidation in November 2025. According to reports, the company owes more than 543,000 Australian dollars to the Australian Tax Office. When O'Neill met with liquidators in February, she told them she had limited income and no available savings to settle the debt. This is the person organizing Meghan's luxury retreat. Now, to be fair, O'Neill has said on her podcast that Meghan is effectively doing this as a favor. The connection apparently came through Marcus Anderson, a longtime friend of Meghan's who works as a consultant for Soho House. Anderson texted O'Neill late last year asking if she would want to collaborate with Meghan. But here is the detail that makes this even more interesting. According to sources, Harry is already feeling like a third wheel when it comes to Marcus Anderson. The insider described Harry's mindset, pointing to underlying insecurities within the relationship. They said Harry is a bit insecure about his relationship with Meghan because she is a fierce, dominant powerhouse. And Anderson has been facilitating connections for Meghan's business ventures, while Harry watches from the sidelines. But the problems do not stop there. Let's talk about the venue. The Intercontinental Hotel in Coogee Beach is brand new. So new, in fact, that it is not finished. According to the Daily Mail, the hotel's infinity pool, which was advertised as a key attraction, is still under construction. The spa, bar, and leisure deck are also unfinished. The hotel's website reportedly listed those facilities as due for completion in April, the same month as the retreat. One observer described the construction area as a work in progress and called it a blot on the view. Guests paying over $2,000 were promised a relaxed time by the pool overlooking Coogee Beach. What they might actually get is a construction site. And speaking of the beach, that brings us to the next issue. Reports have noted concerns about the beach conditions near the hotel. Local media coverage has highlighted the presence of what some have described as coal tar balls washing up on the shore. Not exactly the pristine oceanfront experience guests were expecting. But here is where the backlash really explodes. As of this week, over 40,000 Australians have signed a petition demanding that no taxpayer money be used for Harry and Meghan's visit. The petition states that since stepping down from royal duties in 2020, Harry and Meghan no longer represent the Crown and now operate private commercial ventures from the United States. It argues that at a time when Australians are facing significant cost of living pressures, public resources must be used responsibly. The Sussex team pushed back. A spokesperson dismissed the petition as a moot point, claiming the trip is entirely privately funded. But then came the response that backfired spectacularly. According to reports, someone associated with the couple pointed out that 26.5 million Australians have not signed the petition. The implication being that only 40,000 signatures is insignificant. The internet did not take that well. Critics immediately noted that using the number of people who did not sign a petition as evidence of support is not exactly a winning argument. It suggests desperation rather than confidence. And then there is the guest list controversy. Reports emerged that guests for Meghan's retreat were not simply buying tickets on a first-come, first-served basis. Instead, several applicants described a more selective process. One attendee reportedly talked about being selected, suggesting the event organizers were hand-picking who could attend. And here is where it gets truly uncomfortable. According to reports, one of the people who allegedly received a VIP ticket is a social media account holder known as Zandy Sussex, who has approximately 17,000 followers. This account has been documented making deeply controversial statements about Princess Catherine. Specifically, when Kate announced her cancer diagnosis last year, this account allegedly called it fake and a hoax. And now this person reportedly has a VIP ticket to Meghan's exclusive retreat. The optics are devastating. Meanwhile, what about Harry's event? The InterEdge Psychosocial Safety Summit in Melbourne is focused on workplace mental health. It is a legitimate cause. Harry will share the stage with psychologist Dr. Amy Cuddy, former tennis professional Yelena Dokic, and podcaster Hugh Van Cuylenberg. Ticket prices start at around 1,055 British pounds, with proceeds going to Lifeline NARM, a crisis support and suicide prevention service. On paper, this sounds like exactly the kind of meaningful work Harry should be doing. But critics have pointed out the contradiction. Royal commentator Neil Shawn noted that while Harry has certainly been through trauma, he is not technically qualified to lecture on mental health at a professional summit. Others questioned why tickets cost over $2,000 for some packages. The fundamental tension is this. Harry wants to be taken seriously as a mental health advocate. Meghan wants to be taken seriously as a lifestyle entrepreneur. And both of them are charging premium prices to audiences who are increasingly skeptical of their motives. And then there is the elephant in the room. What happened the last time they visited Australia? In 2018, Harry and Meghan traveled to Australia as working royals. It was supposed to be a triumph. Instead, according to Valentine Lowe's book, Courtiers, Meghan failed to understand the point of all those walkabouts. Lowe alleged that Meghan was overheard saying during the tour, upon seeing crowds of people waiting to greet her, "I cannot believe I am not getting paid for this." Whether or not that quote is accurate, it has shaped how many Australians view the Sussexes. And now they are returning. This time, they are getting paid. Handsomely. The question is whether that feels like vindication or validation of the worst criticism. And here's what makes all of this so explosive for Harry. According to multiple sources, he desperately wants to repair his relationship with his family. He wants to bring Archie and Lilibet to see their grandfather. He wants to go home. But every time Meghan takes on another commercial venture, every time she charges wealthy women thousands of dollars for access, every time the optics scream money grab rather than public service, it makes Harry's reconciliation efforts that much harder. One source described the situation perfectly. Harry is determined not to reinforce criticism as he tries to move forward. But his wife keeps reinforcing exactly that criticism. This is the fundamental divide in their marriage right now. Harry wants rehabilitation. Meghan wants revenue. Harry wants to mend fences. Meghan wants to build an empire. Harry is looking backward toward the family he lost. Meghan is looking forward toward the fortune she believes she deserves. And Australia is where those two visions are colliding in spectacular fashion. 40,000 signatures demanding they not receive taxpayer support. A bankrupt organizer staging Meghan's retreat. An unfinished hotel with an unfinished pool. A guest list that allegedly includes someone who called Kate's cancer diagnosis fake. A husband who is furious about the optics. And a wife who is charging ahead anyway. This is not a royal tour. This is a collision course. And if the sources are right, Harry knows exactly how bad this looks. The question is whether he can do anything about it, or whether Meghan will simply continue to do what Meghan always does. What do you think? Is Harry right to be concerned? Or is Meghan justified in building her brand? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video opened your eyes to what is really happening, hit subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear the truth. Because this Australia trip is going to be absolutely wild, and we will be here to cover every moment of it.